Good evening, everybody. How is everybody out there? Today is Sunday and it is 9 o'clock. And I haven't cut my hair, still haven't cut my hair. It has been 7 months and my hair's long. So I will take care of that soon. Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to say good evening to everybody is ready to go. And I don't have the opportunity to put any comments online. Sorry, guys. Remember, I'm using somebody called StreamYard, and it has helped me a lot. I'm still waiting for YouTube. YouTube needs to make changes for me to put a video online, and also to put a video online and also see the comments. So I can't see any comments when I go to share screen. So when you see my PowerPoint presentation, that's what I see here. So I don't see anything that's on the screen right now. So guys, let's go ahead and get started. I hope everybody can see and hear me. And here we go. I'm going to go to share screen right now. And here we go. Hold on. All righty. Now I'm going to go pull up the PowerPoint and we'll get started. And let's get started. All righty. As you know, this means vamos começar. And remember, let is permission. We'll look at that a little later tonight. Let is permission. First, as you know, we have stuff every week, every class. We have the same page here, stuff. We have bold text, will be new text. I designed this class for two classes. They're at the same level, mine's more or less. So some of you, it might be new text. Some of it might be things that you already know. So please be patient. Italics will be prepositions. All the prepositions will be in italics. Then we have the asterisks, adverbs with ly, and then brackets, participles. This will be the past, present, and future participle, and does not include the perfect tense. So only those present, past, and future participles. And then the red letters, and these are something everybody really needs to practice. Any, some, no, and every. Until advanced students, really, because they're extremely common and we need to process those. Anyhow, letter E words. Last week we looked at the letter E words. I copied this page from last week, and so some of you will remember this. So else is outro mais. I only ate dinner yesterday. I didn't eat anything else. Nada mais. So else, outro mais. Either, também negativo. You like bananas. I like bananas too. You don't like quiabo. I don't like quiabo either. Quiabo do diabo. Even. Até mesmo. Ooh, still confusing for me. Yet the net hadn't torn. Even with so many fish. Sorry about that. I need to turn off my phone. Yet even with so many fish. So até mesmo, I believe, in this case. A rede não rompeu até mesmo. So many fish. Então, ever's in todo tempo. You know, forever, that's tempo certo para o fim de tempo. Ever is todo tempo. Todo no passado, no presente e no futuro. So includes everything. Todo tempo. And of course, this example, Pedro is the best English teacher ever. And mais humilde também. Okay, and then we have enough. Enough, I don't have enough money. In this case, suficiente, I never have enough money. What am I saying? I never have enough money. Anyhow, today we have letter O words. These are common words we need to process. And we have looked at over many times in the last weeks, para lá, terminou, mais demais. It can be confusing. Now over there, para lá, Pedro, you can put the table over there. Para lá. Game over. Everybody knows this. André, I'm sure you know this. Game over. Jogo terminou. Over 2 months. I haven't slept. I haven't been outside in over 2 months. Mais de 2 meses. And overslept. In this case, eu dormi demais. I overslept and I was late. Então, own can be possuir, not common, but more common is próprio. One is a verb, obviously, and one is an adjetivo. Pedro spent his own money for the Doritos. He spent his own money, próprio dinheiro. And here's the verb form, I own a car. And then only, somente única. So I only have 2 reais. This is true. So I only have 2 reais. This would be somente. And then Pedro is the only person who can speak Portuguese perfectly. Então, so in this case, única pessoa is the only person. And then here's conjunction. I will buy it only if I have enough money. So, I can't buy the Doritos. It costs 3 reais. I only have 2 reais. I will buy it only if I have enough money and my wife will not let me have more money. And now we're getting to the presentation. And last time we looked at back to the present. And this is back to the present 2, the sequel. All right. Everybody probably has seen this movie. Back to the Future. Oh, today I just realized, percebi that this movie is, I think, 35 or 40 years old. It's an old movie. So how many sequels were there? Well, every popular movie in Hollywood, there has to be sequels. And you know sequel. Well, there were 2 sequels. They were in the theaters. Now we say theater, not cinema. They were in the theater. Teatro de filmes. Welcome to English. We watch movies in the theater, not at the cinema. And there was one more. There was one more sequel, but it never showed. I'm guessing show would be pasar in the theater. And that was called Back to the Future 4. They made the movie, but they didn't lanzar. They didn't launch the movie. And I found the movie poster, and here it is, everybody. So you see that actor there. That is not Brad Pitt, okay, everybody. That is your humble English teacher, okay. So, anyhow, phrasal verb. We have a phrasal verb of the day. What do we have? We have, from the last time, we looked at give up. Desistir, abandonar. So I gave up, for instance, I gave up drinking soda, refrigerante. I need to. I started again. I need to give up soda. Então, or give up can be abandonar. And then today, we're going to look at watch out. Now, watch itself is assistir. And so I'm watching television, I watch a movie, but watch out is cuidado, ficar atento. Now, the verb form would be ficar atento, but sometimes we just say, watch out, for something that's, a car is going to hit somebody, watch out. So the verb is ficar atento. Watch out for anybody who drives an old Fiat. So if you have an old Fiat, you are one of the worst drivers in the world. I'm sorry. The worst drivers I have seen drive old Fiats. They think it is a motorcycle. So watch out for anybody with an old Fiat. By the way, Agabivinci are the second worst. Então, do you remember this from last time? Galatians 1:6. We looked at that, and here it is again. I am amazed, espantado, that you are already turning away and believing something different from the good news we told you. I am amazed. So they're already turning away and believing something different. So it didn't take long. It can happen to anybody. It can happen at any time, including Peter. We looked at Peter last week. Jesus told Peter to follow me. Follow me. And what did Peter do? And what did Peter do? He turned. He turned. So not a genius, this Peter. And he turned many times. So I'm going to turn off my phone. Então, so he turned many times from Jesus. And Jesus had to tell him from last week, follow me 2 times. So he wanted Peter to literally follow me. So not like Facebook or YouTube, but here he's saying literally follow me, fisicamente. And he didn't. So, all right. Jesus constantly restored Peter. So this would be restaurar, and prepared him too in the process. It was a 3-year process, probably more than 3 years. And we will look at restoration again tonight. And that's from Galatians chapter 6, verses 1 through 10. But first, of course, we have vocabulary. Let's look at vocabulary. Some of you already have the vocabulary. So let's review. You can see that on your cell phone. The first, we have 9 verbs today, and they're all regular. Fortunately, they're all regular. Felizmente, fortunately. So the first verb is tempt. Now, tempt is tentar. And tentar, we have 2 verbs. One is try, and the other is tempt. Tempt. And tempt, we would use as tentado. I am tempted by chocolate cake or soda. Ooh, I need soda. So I am tempted. So in this case, be tentado. Fool, the next 2 are important. Fool and deceive. Because they're almost the same thing in Portuguese. Fool, enganar. And then deceive, decepcionar. Fool can be a substantivo. A fool is in Portuguese, tolo. Tolo. So you have an idea about fool. Mock, zombar. I hope you can understand my Portuguese. And harvest. Harvest is colher, and I thought harvest or colher was something I used at dinner. So now I discovered it's a verb, colher. Treat, this is easy. You know this one. This is tratar. And support. Support is 2 verbs in English, suportar and apoiar. Now we need to remember that there is a version of suportar that is insuportável, does not exist in English. So be careful when you think of that, when you use that word, insuportável in English. We'll look at that at another day. Então, contradict, adivinha? Did you say contradizer? Okay, almost the same thing. And then fix. Fix, arrumar, consertar. I need to fix my car. And women fix their hair. Men don't fix their hair. They cut their hair. So women fix their hair. Fix, arrumar, consertar carro. So fix, both verbs. All right. Now tool. Tool's ferramenta. And then we have envy. Now this is almost the same word in Portuguese. Inveja. So it comes from the mesma raiz. And then goal. goal is easy. You know that in Portuguese it is goal. Can be. Goal is also objetivo, objective. Now in football or soccer, the goal is to put the ball in the goal. The objective is to put the ball in the goal. So goal objetivo. Então, virtue, almost the same, virtude, com D na palavra virtude. Burden is fardo. I hope you can understand that. Fardo, fardo, burden. Each is cada. Now, be careful, cuidado with each, because with time, in English and Portuguese, we say every day. But in English, we say every 2 days, every 3 days, every 4 days. In Portuguese, it's cada 4 dias. And here, everybody says cada 15 dias. It's not true. It's usually it's 14 days, but unless it's 2 times per month. So every 15 days, not each 15 days, but every 15 days. And similar to the burden is load. Now, load is generally is carga. And we will look at the difference between these two words in a little bit. Devastation, bem parecida. Devastação. I have never heard this word, devastação, but according to Google, there is such a word. This word exists. Devastation. It's total destruição total. Selfish. Now you see the word self. Myself, yourself, ourselves, themselves, himself. We will look at these next week. So self, myself, and now ish usually is a característica de personalidade. So here selfish is egoísta. This is somebody who thinks about him or herself. Egoísta. Now in English also we have foolish. Now you don't have this in Portuguese, doloroso. No, we will look at this word, foolish, a little later. Então, gentle, adivinha? This would be gentil, com L no final. And household. Household generally is family, but it's the family that lives in the house. It's considered a unit. It's not considered the house or the family, but the unit, the unidade. It's a little formal, this word household. You will never see it probably again. Então, weight is peso. Wait a second, Pedro. You said wait is esperar. Well, it is, but 2 words have the same word, different spellings, 2 different significados. Duas significadas diferentes. Sorry, guys. Half is metade, and then we have reward. Reward is recompensa. And then one more, and that is tent. Almost the same, tenda. Now the words that are highlighted here in bold, negrito, these are the important words. Words you'll see very common. They're very common words in English. So let's try to memorize those this week. Memorizar. Na semana que vem. Então, now we're going to look at an overview. There's an overview. Vista de cima. And in Portuguese, this is visão geral. So we're going to look at overview of Galatians, the whole book, very briefly, brevemente. This is probably Paul's first letter. We don't know. But we have an idea. It's probably his first letter. And I agree. It's probably his first letter. And Paul wrote at least 13. It's one of 13 letters, probably 14. I believe he wrote Hebrews, if anybody is interested, but Paul wrote at least 13 letters. So there are 39 books in the, 27 books in the New Testament, and he wrote 13 of them. So he wrote a lot. It has 6 chapters, only 6 chapters. And at the time, there were some false teachers deceiving the believers. Not enganando, but deceiving. So this is a little heavier, mais pesado. There were some false teachers, profetas falsos, probably in Portuguese. They were deceiving the believers, and they were called Judaizers. Now, this will wait for another day. We want to look at something else. They taught a different gospel, testemunho diferente, and Paul called the readers foolish. Foolish. What does that mean? Insensatos. So somebody who's foolish is insensato. I agree. Então, now here, let's look at the text briefly. Brothers and sisters, if a person is caught doing something wrong, you who are spiritual should restore someone like this with a spirit of gentleness. Watch out. Watch out here, not the cuidado, can be cuidado, but watch out for would be fique atento, for yourselves, so you won't be tempted to. Tentado. Oof. Então, carry each other's burdens. Carry each other's burdens, and so you will fulfill. Now, fulfill, I didn't put in there. We looked at that in the past. Fulfill is cumprir. Cumprir a lei de Cristo, the law of Christ. If anyone thinks they are important when they aren't, they're fooling themselves. So here is, they are fooling themselves. Enganar. And then each person should test their own work, proprio trabalho. We will look at this in a little bit again, and be happy with doing a good job and not compare themselves. Comparar, we've looked at comparar themselves, a eles mesmos, with others. Each person will have to carry their own load. That's propria carga. Those who are taught the word should share all good things with their teacher. Make no mistake, God is not mocked. A person will harvest what they plant. Mistake. Remember, make no mistake, cometer nenhum erro. A little strange. Make no mistake. Imperativo. God is not mocked. Those who plant only for their own benefit, beneficio, will harvest devastation from their selfishness. But those who plant for the benefit of the Spirit will harvest eternal life from the Spirit. Let's not get tired of doing good, because in time we'll have a harvest if we don't give up. There's that word, desistir, but a little different. So then, let's work for the good of all whenever we have an opportunity, and especially for those in the household of faith. So this is the family of faith. Obviously, it's not a regular family, mother, father, 2 children, or 3 or 4 children. This is in a very extended family. Anyhow, let's break this down. Let's look at verse number 1. Brothers and sisters, if a person is caught doing something wrong, you who are spiritual should restore someone like this with the spirit of gentleness. Watch out for yourselves so you won't be tempted to. This is in the future. So you will not be tempted. Watch out. Now here it is in Portuguese. Now here they use surpreendido instead of caught. Remember, caught is pegar. Eu te pego. Here's surpreendido. Surpreendido. So this is the old Greek. It means surprise or catch. So in English, they went one way, one direction, and Portuguese went the other direction with surprise. The old English uses surprised, and it means caught. Because it doesn't mean, I caught, I'm in the middle of doing something. No, somebody finds out when you're caught doing something. Now here it is, mansidão. Mansidão, and in English it's gentleness. Gentle is gentil, but gentle is a condition. We will look at this actually the next page. Então, now seja em for surpreendido e seja tentado do not exist in English. And if you think in Portuguese and speak in English, you're in trouble because we use the verb to be. Actually, they are forms of to be, but here you have a million versions of all the verbs. So here we use verb to be. Seja bem-vindo em inglês. You're welcome. You're welcome. You are welcome to my house anytime. Well, depends. Especially now, no. But you're welcome also is de nada, foi nada. Well, você é bem-vindo para pedir de novo. So you are welcome can be de nada ou seja bem-vindo. Ou vinda, depends. Então, seja bem-vinda ou vindo. You are welcome. Então, gentle. Now here it should be meek, because gentle is just a condition, can be one time. Meek is a tipo de personalidade. It's a personality, somebody who is meek. So I prefer meek, and actually in this case, I don't like the word gentil. Então, what does it mean to be spiritual? Now it says, you who are spiritual should restore someone like this. And it means mature, maduro. So it's pretty simple there. Mature person. We can't restore anybody if we are not mature. If we are on the same level, mesmo nível, we have problems. And now the word so. For any of you who are new, so we have 6 options, 2 letters, 6 options. Sim, assim, então, para que ou tanto. Watch out for yourselves so you won't be tempted. So we have 3 seconds. Okay. The answer is para que. Para que. Para que you won't be tempted to. Então, verse 2. Carry each other's burdens, and so you will fulfill the law of Christ. Here it's fardos pesados. So it's a heavy burden in Portuguese. In English, we don't usually have a heavy burden. We have problems and burdens. Burdens usually are heavy by definition. Pela definição, by definition, they are burdens. So in Greek, it's a weight. And like the heavy weight on a donkey. Now, last week we looked at donkey. That's burro. Então, each other is the opposite of own. So carry each other's burdens or carry my own burden. So one is for me and one is for everybody else. Each other and own. Então, so here, and so you will fulfill the law of Christ. Oh, 3 seconds, everybody. Okay, it is assim. Assim is like this. And like this, you will fulfill, cumprir a lei de Cristo. Então, flashback. You know this word in Portuguese, same word, flashback. Fulfill the law of Christ. Jesus asked the expert in the law. The expert would be a specialista. What is written in the law? And he said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, coração, with all your soul, alma, and with all your strength, força, and with all your mind, mente. And love your neighbor as yourself, como você mesmo. Remember, neighbor, nearby, seu próximo, como você mesmo, si mesmo, como si mesmo. So how do you love your neighbor as yourself? Well, we carry their burdens, carrega os fardos, né? The heavy weight, o peso. We carry their burdens. Então, verse number 3. If anyone thinks they are important when they aren't, they are fooling themselves. That's obvious. Obvio. And here it says, não sendo nada. Now, we can't use that in English. If you think in Portuguese, you're in trouble because we don't use two negatives. Now, sendo nada is two negatives, nothing and no. So, not being anything. Então, and here also, engana-se a si mesmo. To me, there are two reflexivos. Somebody will need to explain why Portuguese uses então, after the class, please. Então, now this is half of humility. Uma metade da humildade. What is the other half? We have two halves. What is the other half? If anyone really is important, well, they need to treat others like they are important. Tratar outras pessoas like como eles são importantes, because they are important in God's eyes, definitely. Então, verse 4, each person should test their own work and be happy with doing a good job and not compare themselves with others. Each person, cada pessoa. What is that in Portuguese? Cada Each one, really, each one. Now here they use examinar, testar, same word in English. Examine or test, almost the same word. But we will look at this word test in the future. In Greek, there's two different ways to say test. Their own work and be happy with doing a good job and not compare themselves with others. Now, Portuguese, much the same thing, except they use orgulhar-se. Now, this verb does not exist. We say take pride. Take pride, not orgulho. Here it says happy. Be happy. Yeah. Sem se comparar com ninguém. In Portuguese, we love sem, com e sem. Estou sem dinheiro. Oh, não me lembra, Pedro. Então, sem dinheiro. I don't have money. And here it says, and do not compare themselves with others. And by the way, I'm using the Common English version tonight and not the NIV. In Portuguese, you have the NEVE, and I think is the best translation I have seen in English and Portuguese. Very consistent. Então, don't look to others for recognition. I remember this word, reconhecimento, recognition. Don't look to others for recognition or envy. Don't compare yourself with others or the things they have, the car, the house, other things. So don't envy your neighbors. Be happy with doing a good job. Então, now, William Shakespeare, some of you know this name, William Shakespeare, great writer. He said, virtue is its own reward. Virtue is its own reward. A virtude é sua própria recompensa. Virtue is its own reward. Definitely. We do it because it's the right thing to do. And that's our reward. And, well, for one, God is watching also. So, então, verse 5. Each person will have to carry their own load. Própria carga. Deverá levar. Now here it says levar, not carry. Carregar in English, carregar. Portuguese, levar. Now, wait a minute, Pedro. You're saying, I can hear you. Wait a minute, Pedro. This contradicts verse 2. Contradizer, verse 2. Burden versus load. Do we carry our burden, our own burden, or each other's load? I'm confused, Pedro. What is it? Remember, burden would be the heavy weight. It's more emotional. But load is like a kit, como un kit. Now, you know this word kit, in Portuguese, that God has given to everybody. Everybody gets this kit. when they're born. And it holds all the tools of life. As ferramentas da vida. And only we can carry this load. Now, we can't help people carry this. It's only for us to carry. But we can help them understand their load. Can help them understand. And this is something spiritual. So the burden is emotional and the load is spiritual. And so there are two different things here. But carga, by the way, carga can be what you carry on a truck, on a train. Train has cargo. Here we say cargo or a load. So that's we'll wait another day for carga, cargo, load. Anytime, but load is something that is spiritual. So these are two different things. Anytime, verse 6. Let's look at verse 6 again. Those who are taught the word should share all good things with their teacher. Those who are taught the word should share all good things with their teacher. And in Portuguese, they partilhar todas as coisas boas with their teacher, aquela pessoa. Então, this is my favorite verse in the Bible. Então, now here, guys, is my bank information, so you can share all your good things with me. So please make the because I need one of these. Okay, I'm modest. Okay, this is a small boat for me. I will be happy with this boat. Okay, então, verse 6 again. Those who are taught the word should share all good things with their teacher. Então, now Paul thought teachers should not ask for money. It's kind of contra Testamento Antigo, but então, welcome to Paul's world. The burden is on us to support the teachers. And remember, Paul's other job was a tent maker. So in the old days, that was their profession, was to be a teacher in the Old Testament, a priest or whatever. That was their job. So they didn't have a second job. So this is the burden is on us, really, to support the teachers. Então, verse 7. Make no mistake. Here's imperativo. Make no mistake, people. God is not mocked. A person will harvest what they plant. Então, now here they say enganar. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. It should be. Make no mistake. Don't be fooled. De Deus não se zomba. So God is not mocked. Zombar, mock. Pois o que o homem semear, isso também colherá. Now here, pois is I mentioned this last week. Pois is confusing. Pois can be nothing. Palavra de lixo. Pois can be for. Oh, pois can be because. And here it's nothing. And I agree. Então, God sometimes seems slow to us. Now here's parecer. Parecer. This is it's not a visualization. It's something we don't visualize, but it's a perception. Perception. God sometimes seems slow to us, but He is never late. Nunca atrasado, né? Então, verse number 8. Those who plant only for their own benefit will harvest devastation. You know that word, from their selfishness. But those who plant for the benefit of the Spirit will harvest eternal life from the Spirit. So in Portuguese, starts with quem. Now, in this case, I would say whoever, and it is whoever in the Greek. Whoever plants, semear, plants only for their own benefit will harvest destruction, destruição, devastation. But the person who plants for the benefit of the Spirit will harvest eternal life. from the Spirit. Now, obviously, there's some things in the Greek or the English that, fortunately, the Portuguese doesn't have. Usually, it's the Portuguese is much longer. Então, verse 8, there are only two options here: devastation and eternal life. And in other words, we have heaven and hell, céu e o inferno. Então, verse 9, let's not get tired of doing good, because in time we'll have a harvest if we don't give up. Harvest, have a harvest. Uma colheita. We'll have a harvest. Here it says colheremos. We will harvest. That's a verb. But harvest, remember, is a noun or a verb. Vamos ter uma colheita if we don't give up. And here's the version of give up is desanimarmos. Desanimar. That's better. That's a good definition. But also you have poise. Poise here is because. In this case, it's the same thing. Poise. Because in time we'll have a harvest if we don't give up. Então, let's not get tired of doing good. Let's not get tired of doing good. You guys know this is encouragement. Encorajamento, remember we looked at that last time. And it is not permission. Pedro, you told me. Let is permission. Let's go to the mall. That's permission. Do you want to go to the mall? No. Pedro, let's go to the mall. Okay, I'll go. So it's a different way of asking permission. Let's go. But here's it's encouragement. Let's not get tired of doing good. It's not vamos now cansarmos. Cansar. Desculpa. Então, my wife doesn't let me have, here's permission, doesn't let me have more than 2 reais. So I can't buy Doritos. Sorry, guys. All right. Verse number 10. So then let's work. There it is again. For the good of all, whenever we have an opportunity, and especially for those in the household of faith. And a little different in Portuguese. Enquanto is while. But in all the versions, strangely in English, it's let's work. In Portuguese, more of a imperativo and not encouragement, especialmente aos da família de fé. Então, so then, you guys know this? So then is então. Now let's look at Matthew 25:40. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers of mine, you did for me. Now here it is in Portuguese. O que vocês fizeram a algum dos meus menores irmãos, a mim o fizeram. Now, the key words here are brothers of mine. Now, I always thought the least of these, final de pensamento, but I never looked at brothers of mine. He's not talking, Jesus is not talking, this is Jesus, by the way. Jesus is not talking about poor people in general. He's talking about believers, saints also. So whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers of mine, you did for me. So we are called to serve. This includes other people, other believers. And we need everybody in the game. So especially those in need of restoration, restauração. Now, why did Paul write the letter to the Galatians? To restore them. There is a lot of doctrine, doutrina, but the main reason, motivo principal, is to restore. the Galatians. That's all. He's a little grosso, maybe is the word, when he's writing the letter, but his objective, his goal is to restore them. He wants to restore them like Jesus did with Peter. And we need to do the same thing. A mesma coisa. But we don't. This is a tragédia. In the church, we don't. And why don't we? Because of a falta de maturidade, a lack of maturity. We can't restore somebody if we're on their level or we haven't matured. What is maturity? I don't know. Paulo, você arruinou minha vida when you told me that. But no, he told me something different. But for those who don't know, Paulo told me something about maturity, and I have not stopped thinking about it. But the church lacks maturity. This I knew. Eu sabia for many years. We lack the church in geral lacks falta maturidade. Maturidade, definitivamente. And we can't restore if we don't have the maturity. And what is the result? What is the result? You know, this word result, resultado. Well, we have one of two things. One is legalism. Legalism. I think you know this word in Portuguese, legalismo, where rules are more important than the goals. Now, you know, rules are regras. We looked at that, I think, 2 weeks ago. Rules are more important than the goals. Objetivos. Rules are more important than the goals. And legalists, well, they like to tell you what is wrong with you. Right? You shouldn't do that, Pedro. That's wrong. You need to do this. Então, and they tell you what is right. O que é errado com você e o que é certo, tá certo com eles, né? What is right with them? You need to be like me. Now, according to legalists, there is only one way, jeito that is right, tá certo, and that's my way. Então, now legalism and heresy. I'm sorry, heresia. I don't know, guys. Forgive me. I don't know. I forgot this in Portuguese. Heresy. Heresy is against the orthodoxy. Então, there is a difference. Legalism is a problem. That's a problem, a big problem in the church. But heresy is, well, it's heresy. It's against the doutrina, the church, the principais da igreja. So heresy. We can consider, arrumar legalism. We can't fix heresy. We have to fix the people. The people with the heresy. Então, what was the problem with the Galatians? What was the problem? Here it is again. I'm amazed that you are already turning away from and believing. Turning away, afastando, fugindo, maybe, and believing something different from the good news we told you. Obviously, Paul was not alone. He said, we told you. Então, the problem here is not legalism. It's a different gospel. Here it is. This was heresy. Paul was trying to restore the Galatians, and it can happen to us. Remember, this is heresy, what they were doing to the church in Galatia. We'll talk more about this, I think, next week. Então, antinomianism, that's the other extreme. Extremo is antinomianism. So legalism is, you need to be like me. Antinomianism, and this is a heresy, and has been a heresy since the beginning, desde o inicio. It means against, anti, and in English, anti or anti, and law. No, I don't know what that nomionismo, então, I don't remember. So it means against the law. They believe, acredito, okay, before Jesus, Jews were saved. judaicos were saved, salvo, by the law, pela lei. Pela lei. Então, after Jesus, we believe, and the law no longer applies. Não aplica mais para nós. So, do what you want on Saturday night and go to church on Sunday. This is wrong, as you know. So one option is legalism. Be like me. Do like me. And antinomianism is do like you want. And they forget the third way, what God wants. Então, they make one big mistake. And this happens all the time. How many Jews were saved by the law? No Testamento Antigo, how many Jews were saved by the law? A lei. Então, zero. Nenhum. Exactly zero. Então, they were not saved by doing the right thing or saying the right thing or going to the synagogue or rituals, rituais, or for being Jewish. And many believe this. Many Jews believe this. Hey, I'm Jewish. I'm saved. I'm going to heaven. I am God's chosen people. So, no. How were they saved? How were they saved then, Pedro? You gave all the options. How were they saved? I'm lost. What is it? Well, they were saved by faith. Pela fé. Desculpa, pela fé. By faith. Just like today. And just like us. Igualzinho. Like us. There's nothing different between us and the Old Testament believers. Crentes do Testamento Velho. Nothing different. This is always, it has always been, it is and has been always since the beginning, a religion of faith. Faith alone, só fé, and has been for 4,000 years since Abraham. You know this guy, Abram, for 4,000 years. The more things change, we looked at this last time, the more things stay the same. The problems were here 2,000 years ago when Paul wrote this. The same things, the same problems are still here today. Now, what are the most important words from today? Well, encouragement and restoration. And we can't restore. Really, we can't encourage either until we have maturity. So these three words are most important. Maturity, encouragement, and restoration. Então, let's take a look at the text again very quickly. Brothers and sisters, if a person is caught doing something wrong, you who are spiritual should restore someone like this with the spirit of gentleness. Watch out for yourselves so you won't be tempted too. Carry each other's burdens so you will fulfill the law of Christ. If anyone thinks they're important when they aren't, they're fooling themselves. Each person should test their own work and be happy with doing a good job and not compare themselves with others. Each person will have to carry their own load. Those who are taught the word should share all good things with their teacher. Make no mistake, God is not mocked. A person will harvest what they plant. Those who plant only for their own benefit will harvest devastation from their selfishness. But those who plant for the benefit of the Spirit will harvest eternal life from the Spirit. Let's not get tired of doing good, because in time we'll have a harvest if we don't give up. So then, let's work for the good of all whenever we have an opportunity, and especially for those in the household of faith. Okay, now guys, normally I would stop here, as you can see, but this is an English lesson. But guys, if anybody needs prayer, because let me know, because everybody knows somebody with the coronavirus, lost their job, these are difficult times, everybody. So, or maybe you are that somebody, I don't know. But if you want, you can contact me on WhatsApp. So if you have any questions or comments about tonight's class, let me know. So here I will stop the class. If there's any questions again on the material or about these things, always send me a message on WhatsApp. If so, I will stop the class here and have a good night, everybody. See you either in class or next Sunday night at 9 o'clock. Thanks for joining, everybody. Have a good night.